Okay, this video is going to be on the genogram, and I will go ahead and get started. Michelle, I'd like to welcome you here today.
Thank you.
And from our previous visits, we had discussed that we would be doing what they call a genogram, or basically a family tree. You've had an opportunity to kind of think about it a little bit. So what I'd like to do is be able to start to kind of draw this thing out today. Kind of gives us a picture of, your family, the interactions, uh, and how basically what all the dynamics are within the family. And usually we go back 3 generations, but today we're just going to concentrate on from your mother and father.
Okay.
Okay. So, what was your mother's name?
Rosa.
Rosa. Okay. And she was married
Thor.
to Thor. Okay. And do you know when they got married?
1970.
In 1970.
March 13th.
March 13th.
On a Friday.
Friday 13th.
Friday the 13th.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now, are both your parents still alive?
No, they're both deceased.
Okay, I'm sorry. You have my condolences.
I appreciate that.
Okay. All right. So, from the marriage between Rosa and Thor, uh, obviously, are you the only child, or do you have brothers and sisters?
I have brothers and sisters.
Okay. And how many of those are there?
Well, this is where it gets a little tough because in my family, we're all considered brothers and sisters, but I have one biological sister, Sabrina.
Okay, so that'd be Sabrina.
My mother had 2 sons,
Okay.
Richard and Robert.
All right. Richard
They both have different dads, though.
and okay, Robert.
And Dad had 2, Jerry and Selena.
Okay, Jerry and Selena.
Mm-hmm. And Selena is also deceased.
Okay. Um. All right. So who was the stepfather of Richard and Robert?
Thor.
Okay. Okay. I've got it now. All right.
Sometimes I get confused too, and it's my baby.
Okay.
That's okay.
Now, between Sabrina, Richard, and Robert, are any of those 3 married?
2 are Sabrina
Okay.
and Richard.
Okay. So Sabrina is married to
John.
John. And do you know when they happen to have gotten married?
1995.
95. Okay. And so Robert is unmarried at this point, right?
He is single.
Okay. And Richard is married to
Wilma.
Wilma. Okay. And would you happen to know when they were married?
I want to say 1974.
Okay. Now, have there been any divorces to date through any of this?
No.
Okay. Um, as we move along here, is Jerry married?
No, he is single.
Okay. Was Selena married?
She was not, but she had 2 children.
Okay. So we'll put them all here and their names?
Christopher and Christina.
Christopher and Christina.
Mm-hmm.
Would you happen to know their ages?
I do not.
No. Okay. And
20s. Like
20s? Okay. Okay. And I'm assuming, do they have their own separate residence? They living together?
I'm assuming because Christina's already had children, and I don't keep in contact with them. They kind of live away since.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. How about Jerry? Did Jerry have any children?
No.
Okay. No children. Um, Now, how about Richard and Wilma? Did they have any children?
They have 4 children,
4 children. Okay.
and they have 8 grandchildren.
Okay. Well, let's start with
Okay, sorry.
let's start with the children.
I have a big
Okay.
family.
Okay. No, that's great. That's wonderful.
Ricky,
Ricky,
Tracy,
Tracy,
and the 2 twins, which are Ryan and Brian.
Ryan, and Brian. Okay. Now, is any of those Ricky, Tracy, Ryan, or Brian, are any of those married?
All of them are.
All of them.
One is divorced, which is Ryan.
Okay. So, okay. So Ryan is divorced and he was married to
Joni,
Joni. And Brian was married to
Crystal,
Crystal. And Tracy
Chris,
married to Chris. And Ricky
Lynn.
is married to Lynn. Okay. Now, what about your other sister, Sabrina and John? Do they have any children?
Yes, but not together.
Okay.
Sabrina has a daughter, which is deceased.
Okay. I'm sorry.
We have a lot of
Okay,
death in our family, but that's okay.
Okay.
I mean, it's not okay, but she died when she was 2, in 1995.
Okay.
Kimberly.
Kimberly.
Mhm.
I've heard you talk about her before. I guess she meant a lot to you.
She really did. She did a lot, like my own. Everyone when we lost her.
I'm sorry.
Thank you very much.
And John.
He has a son, John Jr.
Okay, John Jr.
Yeah, John Jr. He is 22 years of age.
22.
And
Okay.
unfortunately still living in the home. I
Okay.
wish he would move. He's
Okay.
still in the home.
So here, we'll draw a dotted line around that family since they are all living at home. And what a beautiful tree.
I've got a big tree. Which is good though, I guess, right? It's good to have a big family.
Wow. So on your next visit, we'll start talking a little bit about some of the dynamics and who you have relationships with, who you talk with, and all of those kinds of things so that we can just kind of better understand some of the family dynamics, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.